The chosen ones. Awaken your soul. Be aware of those who criticize, for karma keeps track of all actions. Nobody escapes its grasp, not even the naysayers who enjoy other people's difficulties. In reality, their envy affects them by activating the same brain locations as physical pain. Karma is more than simply a cosmic force. It's an unforgiving instructor with a message for your critics. Their ultimate test is rapidly coming as you ascend. They will bear the repercussions of their envy. So sit back, eat some popcorn, and enjoy the show, for karma always delivers and never forgets. The chosen ones. Your truth has been exposed. The cosmos observes as equilibrium is restored. First and foremost, karma often arises as a mirror rather than in the shape of justice robes. Karma does not always emerge as clear-cut poetic justice or dramatic demise. It's much more harsh and subtle. It takes the form of a mirror losing something or being humiliated in public. Isn't this the hardest lesson you can teach your adversaries? It is having to confront the same features and activities that they forced on you. They are compelled to acknowledge themselves for who they really are. As soon as karma shows them that mirror, which is not a pleasant sight, I guarantee you that individuals who strive to undermine others do so in order to conquer their own worries. They will accuse you of being egotistical, self-centered, or inadequate because they fear having such characteristics themselves. It is easier to blame someone else than to admit one's own flaws. However, karma does not spare them. It alters the course of events, forcing them to cope with the consequences of their wrath. The same negativity they brought into the world now surrounds them, and they are unable to stop it since it originates within rather than outside. Karma allows people to see your accomplishments, which are even worse. There's nothing more agonizing than seeing someone flourish while you're stuck in the mess you created for yourself. The reflection becomes unpleasant at that moment. They understand that their obsession with your destruction will only delay their own growth. They see that you were growing, changing, and becoming untouchable while they were busy fighting to halt your blessings. The worst thing is that karma requires no effort on your side. You do not have to seek revenge or payback. The lesson is obvious. The same characteristics that your detractors sought to project onto you made them struggle with their own reflection. Karma is the finest educator because of this. It exposes rather than just punishes. There is nothing more modest than learning who you really are, when you're least expecting it. Second, envy is a self-destructive condition disguised as ambition. Jealousy is one of the most destructive sentiments a person may have. Even worse, it's self-inflicted. It deceives people into believing that their own worth is decreased by the success of others. Jealous individuals waste their energy resenting others who are just going about their lives instead of focusing on personal growth. They fail to see that jealousy is a concealed curse. They grow bitter, exhausted, and empty-handed as it preys on their mental peace. The ugly fact is that jealousy will never help someone achieve by concentrating on someone else's journey. It inhibits people from seeing their own potential. Consider what happens to your own development when all of your efforts are directed on wishing that someone else fails. It stalls. You begin to make decisions based on competing with someone who is unlikely to even consider you, rather than on your own goals. It is always a losing game. What about karma? It enjoys jealousy. You know, karma frequently amplifies what jealous people are upset about. That person continues to win, even while they are unhappy about their success. Life showers its prey with even more benefits as they plot to destroy them. The universe seems to be instructing you to remain furious. However, the ultimate sadness resides inside. People who are envious become prisoners of their own bitterness because they judge themselves based on the achievements of others. They lose sight of their own goals and become miserable. The saddest thing is that envy never damages its target. Instead, it hurts the one who carries it. Karma is therefore quietly eroding their mental stability while they sit there, feeling hate and hoping for your demise. They become their own worst opponents. The most crucial lesson is that envy is a self-inflicted sickness that can only be healed by abandoning comparison and resentment in favor of focusing on living a fulfilling life. Third, irrelevance is the harshest punishment. Irrelevance, rather than failure or shame, is the most difficult lesson karma can teach. Nothing is more terrible for people who like denigrating others than realizing that their presence, actions, and views are no longer relevant. Individuals driven by hatred or jealousy use attention to fuel their actions. They plan, gossip, and criticize because it makes them feel important, not because they have other things to do. They're left with an unfilmable hole. The moment karma removes their sense of importance. When your attackers are unable to access your energy, their words lose their influence on you, and their strategies collapse. They lose all relevance for individuals who have built a reputation as your critic. It is difficult to accept when you outgrow their silliness and go on to bigger and better things. They are left behind, shouting into the air. They thrive on the idea that they are significant in your story, and knowing you don't give a damn erodes them more than anything else. The greatest aspect is that you don't have to take any action. Karma takes care of things for you. Your opponents become less important as you focus on your own growth, satisfaction, and success. To be honest, they are desperate and sad in their attempts to undermine you. It's like seeing someone throw their fists at nothing. Even more cruelly, they often observe your climb while acknowledging their insignificance. You shine brilliantly while others fade into the background. You're living your best life, surrounded by new opportunities and genuine connections, while they're stuck in the same bitter mindset, ensuring your foes watch you succeed while they're demoted to supporting roles in the story they feel they control as karmas. Being irrelevant is a comprehensive erasure of their power, not just a punishment, and those motivated by jealousy face no worse fate. Fourth, the lesson is to focus on your progress rather than quiet. Although it may look commendable, quiet is seldom the genuine lesson that karma imparts. The loudest and most modest message your opponents will ever hear is that you are improving. When others criticize or envy you, they want you to fall apart, stay the same, or react in a way that reinforces their ideas. They can no longer dominate you if you choose to grow, becoming more robust, affluent, and satisfied. Jealousy is essentially eradicated by such changes. They are unable to touch the growth. It's unstoppable, intangible, and indisputable. Only when aimed at someone who is insecure or easily swayed may criticism be effective. When you climb beyond other people's insignificant points of view, their opinions lose relevance. All of a sudden, the qualities people used to mock you became admirable. Your success story now incorporates the flaws they were obsessed on. Your competitors suffer greatly as a result of the shift because they no longer have something to cling to. The fact that they are unable to understand your development adds to their pain. They were too obsessed with your failure to see the dedication, resilience, and growth going place right in front of them. You're already out of reach, living a life they don't comprehend. The problem is that as you age, your envy normally becomes stronger but loses its purpose. They will try to be critical of you, but it will not last. Why? Because growth makes them unimportant. It creates an emotionally, socially, and professionally unavailable version of yourself. Karma's brilliance is that you don't have to make bombastic claims or engage in small-scale revenge without doing anything. It just recognizes your success in a way that silences your opponents. Growth is a reckoning for those who thought you'd never climb, not only a lesson for you. Furthermore, their jealousy becomes a weight that they must endure alone, the higher you advance. Number 5, karma reverses the script on the big egos. Karma loves altering the course of events in unforeseen ways. Nowadays, even people who spread rumors about you and bring up your name in casual conversations often find themselves in a difficult position where they must defend you. Egos are humbled by life's unique habit of having them protect the same people they intended to destroy. Furthermore, nothing is more unpleasant for a gossip than realizing they have unwittingly become your spokesperson. Usually it starts gently. Perhaps you have grown too successful to ignore. The same people who derided your dreams or disapproved of your actions can no longer ignore you when they see your name associated with triumphs, awards, and possibilities. They'll first downplay it, stating you changed or putting it on chance, but they'll be left scrambling for relevance when your glow-up gets too bright or too faint. The exciting aspect is that you will be adored by new contacts in their professional or social networks. Disparaging you has suddenly become unacceptable. In reality, standing up for oneself becomes the socially acceptable course of action, even if they've spent years hoping for your demise. The same people who have been circulating falsehoods about you will now have to say things like, "Oh yeah, I knew them back then," or that they work really hard. They'll do this with clamped teeth. Furthermore, it is not just about your achievement. Karma may sometimes alter the course of events by putting you in situations where your foes want your assistance. Perhaps you have access to chances, resources, or expertise that they desperately need, or perhaps someone they respect thinks highly of you, so they can't continue their slander campaign without coming out as bitter or foolish. Whether your rivals like it or not, karma transforms them into members of your fan club. That is the beauty of it. Poetic justice is best felt when you witness them clumsily defend your reputation or acknowledge your achievements. What's the best part? Making it happen did not need any effort on your behalf. 6 individuals who wish you failure often get engrossed in the energy they provide. Those who wish others failure may ignore one key principle. Life is energy, and whatever you put out is what you get back. They are not only spreading negativity, but they are also preparing themselves for failure. When they continue to plot evil, sabotage, or enjoy the suffering of others, their bad energy may be redirected by karma. And when it does it with vigor. Negative energy behaves similarly to a harmful investment. Over time, it accumulates and pervades every part of their existence. They lose sight of their own goals and fulfillment. While they are concerned with wishing your demise, the lasting hatred has an effect on their behavior, relationships, and overall mental health. The energy you generate is strikingly mirrored in life. When that reflection returns, it appears in unexpected ways. Missed opportunities, shattered relationships, and unexpected setbacks are often the first indicators. They may regard it as bad luck. However, the weight of their negativity becomes inevitable as their lives continue to slide downhill since they never learned how to channel their thoughts productively. They become trapped in the same energy they emitted, unable to escape the awareness that the person they targeted exists. Typically, you have gone on and flourished despite their attempts, which is even more hurtful. You're living your best life, undisturbed by their negativity, while they fall into bitterness. The ultimate karmic twist is that, paradoxically, the more others focus on your accomplishments and wish for your downfall, the more they get mired in their own pain. Grand gestures are unnecessary for karma. It simply magnifies the energy they generate until it becomes unbearable. Their obsession with your failure ensures that they will never achieve success or peace on their own, and their hatred becomes their jail. They drown in what they previously desired for you, which is the true cost of spreading hatred. It returns with interest. 7th, karma is about dispelling illusions, not poetic justice. Karma is not about spectacular retributions or poetic justice. It is about taking down illusions, erasing lies that people tell themselves, and presenting the truth. Those who behave harshly, manipulatively, or out of jealousy must eventually confront the harsh reality that life is not a power battle. It penalizes pettiness and promotes genuineness. These petty individuals often believe they are winning when they undercut, manipulate, or talk their way through life. They mix short-term wins with long-term accomplishments. However, karma is long-term focused and does not care about short-term rewards. And when it does, it debunks the idea that their tactics were ever feasible. The process of disassembling is painful. The bonds they built by deception unexpectedly crumble. The meticulously crafted image starts to collapse. They miss up on possibilities that they assumed were safe. Why? Because honesty, hard work, and sincerity are ultimately rewarded in life. The universe exposes people who do not act with noble intentions while aligning things for those who do. The fact that karma frequently ensures that people witness the success of those they try to disparage just adds to the anguish of this lesson. You're succeeding in ways they never could have expected. They fight to maintain their failing veneer. Furthermore, the peace, satisfaction, and respect that come with living a true life are more essential than financial success. They are unable to deny or manage this by proving that life is a journey of growth rather than a power struggle. Karma shatters their illusions, and while others develop and progress, those who do not learn from their mistakes fall behind. They are mired in their small-minded practices. In reality, people who grow with intention rather than deception are rewarded in life. When karma flips the script, it's a reality check that exposes, humbles, and stuns opponents. Number 8. Because they are blinded by their concentration, the envious rabble never wins. The force of envy is blinding because they are too focused with watching you fail to concentrate on their own achievements. The envious mob never succeeds. They become obedient to your every move. Rather of focusing on their own growth, satisfaction, or goals, they devote endless energy to judging your successes, talking about you, and thinking about you when they wake up. The irony is that you're out there enjoying your life while they're consumed by it. Karma intervenes to teach a hard lesson. Failure is unavoidable when one's focus is misplaced. By concentrating on someone else, the envious crowd wastes the concentration, effort, and purpose required for achievement. The universe magnifies the energy of humans wherever they concentrate. When that energy is built on resentment, it has a significant negative impact. They squander time on jealousy and bitterness when they might have been doing something productive. The realization that their infatuation with you just helps to further your success is even more agonizing. They unintentionally raise your visibility by mentioning your name, typically braving criticism or hearsay. Opportunities come your way. People begin to ask you questions, and although their progress slows, yours accelerates, and failure isn't the only thing that hits them. When karma hits the final blow, they realize how much time and effort they wasted. When they look about, they see nothing to justify their concentration. They can no longer comprehend the new levels of accomplishment and happiness you've attained in the meantime. Seeing someone they've envied thrive while continuing to think negatively is the ultimate pain. Karma requires individuals to deal with the consequences of their misguided focus. In addition to revealing it, the jealous mob never wins because they damage themselves by putting emotion ahead of growth. It is frequently too late to catch up by the time they notice it. Number 9. Being so pleased that your opponents are compelled to reconsider their own conclusions is a more significant win than proving them wrong. The genuine victory in life is to be so content that your opponents begin to question their own judgments, not proving them incorrect. Those that oppose you expect opposition. They urge you to devote your attention to proving them wrong, responding to their points of view, or getting caught up in their little disagreements. When you choose satisfaction, you deny them this power. Instead, the confusion that follows when they realize you've outgrown their tale utterly is karma's cruelest lesson. Success is just one component of contentment. Other qualities are satisfaction and living life on your own terms. When you reach that level, your enemies get bewildered. They don't comprehend how you stopped caring about what others think, how you succeeded despite their efforts to stop you, or how you found pleasure in places they never looked. When you remove them from the picture, their whole world collapses because they were central to your story. The fact that their confusion often turns inward heightens the severity of this lesson. They begin to question their own choices, wondering why you're succeeding while they're imprisoned. They begin to see how worthless their focus on you and the missed opportunities in their own lives are. It is tough to accept that. The irony is that their dissatisfaction is mirrored in your contentment, since your achievement forces others to confront their own flaws. They are unable to ignore the similarity. They thought they had won by breaking you, but karma intervened. The ability to rise above their noise and establish a life beyond their reach was always the key to triumph. Karma tests enemies' previous conceptions and humbles them by refuting their assumptions. Such misunderstanding has much more serious consequences than any discussion or revenge strategy. The only way out of this lifelong reckoning is to face the terrible truth that they have evaded for so long. Their preoccupation was never meaningful. Karma screams the truth, whilst envy whispers lies. A skillful manipulator, jealousy spreads myths that distort reality. It expresses the sense that you are lucky or undeserved, and that you do not deserve your success. It leads individuals to assume that if they examine deeply enough, they will find a flaw to justify their hostility. However, karma screams the truth rather than whispering it. And when people who are jealous of you lose trust in you, they are forced to confront their own anxieties. It's a painful awakening. They first consoled themselves by clinging to the lies that jealousy had taught them. Perhaps they feel you will eventually make a mistake or that your success is transitory. Karma, however, is patient. It waits until your progress, successes, and tenacity are obvious. Their assumptions are disproven one by one. The fact that this lesson is so personal just adds to its severity. They are compelled to confront the underlying source of their animosity. They have their own anxieties. When their lies about you are exposed, you were never the target of jealousy. Instead, it was what you stood for. Perhaps it was your self-assurance, ability to overcome hurdles, or determination to achieve your objectives regardless of the odds. Whatever it was, it came to light something they didn't want to admit while ignoring the fact that karma teaches us isn't kind. It forces individuals to confront their discomfort and weaknesses as they get trapped in a vicious circle of self-doubt, wondering why they wasted so much energy hating you instead of bettering themselves. The hardest part is that you are out there excelling, growing, and living your best life while they are imprisoned. They are fighting their worries. Every day, that contrast serves as a reminder of their missed time and energy. In addition to revealing the illusions spread by envy, karma requires people to deal with the consequences of their dishonesty. And it is a much greater punishment than any external tragedy for those who allow jealousy to consume them. Those that want to undermine you often lay the way for your achievement. The paradoxical beauty of karma is that people who want to undermine you often end up paving the road for your success. It leads individuals to assume that if they examine deeply enough, they will find a flaw to justify their hostility. However, karma screams the truth rather than whispering it. And when people who are jealous of you lose trust in you, they are forced to confront their own anxieties. It's a painful awakening. They first consoled themselves by clinging to the lies that jealousy had taught them. Perhaps they feel you will eventually make a mistake or that your success is transitory. Karma, however, is patient. It waits until your progress, successes, and tenacity are obvious. Their assumptions are disproven one by one. The fact that this lesson is so personal just adds to its severity. They are compelled to confront the underlying source of their animosity. They have their own anxieties. When their lies about you are exposed, you were never the target of jealousy. Instead, it was what you stood for. Perhaps it was your self-assurance, ability to overcome hurdles, or determination to achieve your objectives regardless of the odds. Whatever it was, it came to light something they didn't want to admit while ignoring the fact that karma teaches us isn't kind. It forces individuals to confront their discomfort and weaknesses as they get trapped in a vicious circle of self-doubt, wondering why they wasted so much energy hating you instead of bettering themselves. The hardest part is that you are out there excelling, growing, and living your best life while they are imprisoned. They are fighting their worries. Every day, that contrast serves as a reminder of their missed time and energy. In addition to revealing the illusions spread by envy, karma requires people to deal with the consequences of their dishonesty. And it is a much greater punishment than any external tragedy for those who allow jealousy to consume them. Those that want to undermine you often lay the way for your achievement. The paradoxical beauty of karma is that people who want to undermine you often end up paving the road for your success. Their plots, rumors, and attempts to destroy you are precisely what comprise your success road. Sabotage originates from the belief that someone else's failure will provide an advantage, as if karma is saying thank you for the free building materials. However, these con artists are ignorant that adversity promotes resilience. Each time they put you through a difficult situation, you learn, adapt, and become more resilient. Their efforts result in lessons you did not seek, but yet learn. They unwittingly enhance you while aiming to break you, as karma exploits their actions. To boost your visibility, spread more lyrical rumors. It's just free advertising critique. It often piques attention, prompting people to research you and discover your benefits rather than your shortcomings. You get more attention. The more noise they make, and their sabotage backfires, making you the center of attention and devotion before they even know it. Another psychological twist is that individuals who want to hurt you often get obsessed with following your progress. They monitor everything you do, looking for signs of failure. They don't realize, however, that your significance is driven by their curiosity. They unintentionally improve your influence by keeping your name in the limelight. What about karma? It enjoys irony. It ensures that those who sought to hinder your blessings will be the ones who clear the path for your success. Their efforts to bury you only help to plant the seeds for your growth. Their criticism becomes a badge of honor, and their sabotage becomes the focus. When rivals become too concerned with your destiny rather than their own, they are the ones who cause their own destruction. When adversaries become too concerned with your destiny rather than their own, they often plan their own doom. Their efforts are directed on measuring your successes, criticizing your choices, and inventing discrediting techniques. Others don't know that power comes from concentration, and the more others pay attention to you, the more they unwittingly assist you succeed. Karma ensures that they are misdirected. Your climb is fueled by attention, whilst theirs comes to a halt. Focus is required for success, but jealousy hinders many from seeing this simple reality. They waste time on you instead than on their own growth. They're too busy trying to block your path to make their own. That preoccupation ultimately proves to be their doom. While you continue to be unaffected and unstoppable, their opportunities pass them by. This is made all the more poetic by the fact that their preoccupation often results in inadvertent promotion. They keep your name relevant by regularly discussing you, whether via gossip or criticism. People who previously ignored you become interested in you, which leads to unexpected chances. They unwittingly uplift you while seeking to bring you down by ensuring that their actions have a beneficial ripple effect. Karma heightens the irony. They wonder why things aren't going their way and feel confined, frustrated, and stuck. The answer is easy. They were too busy with destroying you to focus on progressing themselves. Thus, you continue to rise untouched by their criticism while they waste years in this useless cycle. This is the ultimate karmic twist. Their obsession with your destiny ultimately overshadows their own. Karma only permits individuals to hurt themselves. It doesn't need complicated arrangements. And before you know it, you're enjoying the life they've always wanted but were too ungrateful to pursue. Karma invades their lives rather than knocking on their door to teach them a lesson. When karma comes up, it does not play kindly. Instead, it enters and lives with an uncontrollable power. Karma does not gently nudge enemies who violate a threshold. Instead, it generates upheaval in the form of missed opportunities, tarnished reputations, and lost tranquility. These are its unique traits, and they leave an impression that people will never forget. They may be unconscious of what is happening. Minor annoyances build. Projects fail. Reliable friends grow aloof. Unexpected complications arise. They ascribe it to misfortune. However, karma is tenacious. It continues to pound on doors, undermining the facade they've built for themselves. Their perfectly created veneer starts to crack, revealing the truth they have worked so hard to hide. Karma's lesson is especially severe since it affects both their inner selves and their external environment. The most devastating result may be a loss of tranquility. The smug satisfaction they used to feel has been replaced with nervous, restless nights. Their minds become prisons of guilt and anxiety, replaying their mistakes over and again and wondering when the next blow will strike. People may smell negativity around them. As a result, opportunities become more rare. Their reputation, which was once a source of pride, has now become a concern. As reports about their activities spread, their most valued belongings wield power and prestige. It slipped through their fingers like sand. Karma seeks balance rather than punishment, forcing people to live with the consequences of their actions. It restores order, and the results are inescapable. Whether these actions are motivated by cruelty, dishonesty, or jealousy, there is no getting out of what they are attempting to impose on others. It becomes their reality. Karma's invasion is fantastic since it requires no effort on your side. You do not need to prove anything or seek justice. Karma takes care of everything. Your adversary's life is shaped by their own choices, and they will always remember that. Lesson number: your joy is karma's job, not the ultimate revenge. Your enjoyment is the ultimate kind of punishment, not karma's. Karma is sometimes seen as payback, in which opponents suffer in proportion to the misery they caused. Karma's ultimate power, however, is in ensuring that those who intended to destroy you stay there throughout your irresistible victory. It is about your elevation, not their downfall. By focused on recovery, growth, and prosperity, you deprive your opponents of the satisfaction they were seeking. They wanted you to stay stuck, bitter, and wounded. However, they did not foresee that plot. Surprise! Because it shows that their efforts were infruitless, it completely disarms them. They see that they have merely reinforced you, not stopped you. This karmic justice is so poetic since it isn't too dramatic or loud. It is in the quiet moments when you are achieving your goals, smiling with true happiness, or just being at peace with yourself that your foes are forced to watch as you construct a life they cannot change while they battle with their own choices. The cruelest lesson of all is that karma ensures they have a front-row ticket to your achievements. This is not because they suffer personally, but rather because they must see what they feared the most: your pleasure. Without them, their attempts to defame you are made ineffective by your enjoyment. The catch is that true happiness cannot be forced or created. It is the result of accomplishment, contentment, and inner peace. When you arrive, karma's duty is complete, because your pleasure speaks louder than any punishment ever could. It does not need to pursue retaliation. Living a life so lovely that your foes realize they never had the power to stop you is the ultimate victory. Not seeing them fall, and that understanding, it's karma's last brilliant effort. Karma is a persistent force that teaches lessons in unexpected ways. This is not a fairy tale about justice. It does not arrive with a loud trumpet or eloquent warning. Instead, it arrives quietly, frequently in the form of embarrassing reversals, shattered illusions, or personal growth. Enemies succumb to their own resentments, lose sight of jealousy, and become consumed by a desire to control circumstances over which they had no say. Their sabotage becomes the key to your success. Their enthusiasm pulls you forward, and their rumors boost your reputation. The irony of karma is that it just redirects energy instead of squandering it. However, the most crucial lesson that karma teaches is transcendence rather than punishment. It challenges you to see beyond your pettiness and focus on your own growth rather than your enemies. Their failure is not their last victory. Rather, it is your ability to flourish beyond their level, to live a life so fulfilling that their points of view are made irrelevant. That kind of retribution is louder than any dispute or response. And your only responsibility is to keep getting up while karma takes care of the unpleasant job of justice. Raise your voice, have bigger aspirations, and attain accomplishment without apologies. Nothing teaches your foes a more powerful lesson than witnessing you morph into someone they cannot touch or comprehend. Let happiness be your finest kind of revenge. Karma rewrites the story rather than just balancing the balances. And in this version, you win because you outgrown your opponents rather than annihilating them, and they will never forget that lesson. Don't stop here. If this resonated with you, if you felt empowered, inspired, or had an aha moment, this is just the beginning of a journey filled with information, insight, and deep life lessons. You will not want to miss what happens next, I guarantee. Thus, choose the subscription option and activate notifications. Join a community that values truth, growth, and steadfast accomplishment. Let's rise above the chaos and let karma take care of the rest. We've only just started. Join us on this incredible experience. I will see you at the next one.